Hi, everyone. Welcome to this unusual time for me streaming. I hope everybody's doing okay. I know BroTep right now is having a live stream. I'm sorry. But there is some important development on a story that I have been covering for some time in my channel. I want to give a shout out to everybody that tuned in. Hi, Christina, Morena, JS, Crazy Boy, Capricorn Way, and to Jorge Rodriguez. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today's it's gonna be like a very short video. I'm not going to be having a panel unless you guys have something to add, but you'll let me know in the chat. But I'm going to just start with the development that's been happening right now. As many of you guys know, I've talked before here about Eliezer Molina and his activism in Puerto Rico to protect the natural resources, the beaches in Puerto Rico. And what has been happening basically is that the public agency of natural resources in Puerto Rico that oversees and grants permits for new projects to be developed in areas that might or might not compromise natural resources of the island issued 2 weeks ago uh, an endorsement for a permit on a complex that's right next to the beach. As you guys may know, the beach in Puerto Rico, all the coastline, it's public terrain, it's public domain, and it should be the public should be allowed to have access to it completely. Now, I want to show you guys some videos about what has been happening and what he has been denouncing. And as the title of today's quick breaking news episode, Eliezer Molina indeed has been placed under arrest in Rincon, Puerto Rico. But I'm going to give you guys all the details. I'm going to start with the issue for those who are not familiar with the situation. I'm going to start sharing right now what's going on and what has happened that caused this situation. 2 weeks ago, Eliezer Molina was denouncing publicly using his social media and other media outlets like the radio show Molusco y los Reyes de la Punta. For those who do not know who Molusco is, go to Molusco TV on YouTube and you will find more information about this. But he decided to take to the public forum, since the media is not covering this story, what has been happening. As many of you guys know, there's a lot of turtles that nest in our coastlines, especially on the west side of Puerto Rico. And unfortunately, there is a developer that was granted a permit that's illegal because we're supposed to preserve this endangered species that during this time, by the way, are nesting. And we all know that not all the turtles that they give birth make it to the water when they finally are ready to do that trip. So we have to protect them as much as we can. And right now, I'm going to show you guys what has been happening. Unfortunately, give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to show you what Eliezer Molina denounced 2 weeks ago.
Miren cómo se protegen los nidos de las tortugas. Miren, eso que ustedes ven ahí son los nidos de las tortugas. ¿Y qué tenemos al lado? A estos criminales una vez más, miren. Miren dónde están los nidos. Miren los nidos de las tortugas. Y miren lo que ellos hacen, miren. Miren. Sacando arena, haciendo excavaciones a mansalva. Miren, no hay 40 pies del nido de las tortugas donde estos desgraciados están sacando la arena. Y el responsable de esto es el secretario de Recursos Naturales, OCPE y el gobierno de Puerto Rico, miren. Todo en un área que se ha aprobado de forma ilegal. Ilegal en terrenos de dominio público, en la zona costanera, que se supone que esas personas hayan hecho una cesión a recursos naturales. Miren dónde están sacando, mírenlo. Miren la excavación que están haciendo. Y miren los nidos de las tortugas. Y miren los nidos de las tortugas, mírenlo, mírenlo. O el pueblo le pone un punto final a estos corruptos, o esta gente va a acabar con lo que queda de país. Miren ahí los nidos y miren dónde vienen ya sacando arena. Miren. ¿Ustedes creen que eso es justo? ¿Ustedes han visto que estas personas son unos corruptos? Que esto es ilegal. Gobernador, se probó que es ilegal. Manuel Sidre, se probó que es ilegal. Ya le enviamos toda la totalidad de documentos y esperamos que actúen. Están en la zona marítimo terrestre, en zona costanera. Y se supone que se le haga una cesión al Estado porque este es el lugar para que la gente camine. En un lugar donde tenemos clara presencia de tortugas que están desovando. Pues no, estos criminales que quieren destruirlo.
Well, as you guys saw, for those who do not speak Spanish, the area that was to the left that had the caution tape or the caution ribbon and a few sticks holding it, that's the measurements that the locals in Rincon, Puerto Rico have had to, resort to because unfortunately, um, the construction was approved because based on what Eliezer has proved via some documents that he shared. Unfortunately, I cannot share it right now because it's copyrighted for the show that he was in. But I will post it on my Instagram for those who do not follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is denise.gonzalez.vieques1. So follow me on Instagram. I will post this document later today. I'm sorry. However, like I explained, what we just saw in the left was the nesting of the endangered turtles that come to nest in our west northwest coastline. And unfortunately, it's suspected that the person behind the approval of this permit, even though it's on a public beach, because the beaches in Puerto Rico are of public domain, unfortunately, was the cousin of our current governor, Pedro Pierluisi. So there's a suspicion that because his name is on the permit, that this has been a backdoor deal. Now, what led to the arrest of Eliezer was that today I'm going to share what he was doing. Today he decided with a group of Puerto Ricans to actually go and protest. I don't know if you guys can see. It was a very small group of people that has started the movement. But what the building that you guys see behind it, this group of protestants, it's a new development that was authorized in Rincon. And even though it's still on the limit of where there's no like a beach, it's a private property, but the limit of the public property is right public domain. Now they requested to extend the square footage into the beach that's public domain and also endangering the species. We do not know what happened to the turtles that were nesting in that area. I mean, we can only speculate, but to be honest with you, at this point, they're probably dead. Also, so you guys can see there's some of them that were entering the construction site to prohibit the trucks from dropping the cement slab for the foundation. I'm gonna show a video of also what they were doing today that actually got them arrested alongside Eliezer Molina. So this is what they went to do. You guys let me know if you guys can hear it and see it. Of course. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. This is live, so bear with me. Um, Now, like I said, bear with me. That's the beach. That's the beach, everyone. I don't know if you guys saw, but that's actually the what used to be a beautiful beach, and it's now being used as a slab, a foundation for an infinity pool for this private developer. So, because they entered that area and caused the construction company to lose the cement that they were going to use, because as I don't know if you guys are familiar with construction, but if you wait at least 40 minutes, thank you, bro Tep. Yes, like, comment, and hit that bell for notifications, please. As you guys may know, if you wait at least 40 minutes after the time that it's supposed to be poured, it will be useless. So because they caused the construction company to lose their money and the cement went to waste and they could not throw the foundation, they were placed under arrest. And I want to share one last video of what Eliezer Molina, his expressions right before he was placed, well, he surrendered himself, but he was placed under arrest in Rincon, Puerto Rico. Give me 1 second, guys. Now, Mateo says he couldn't hear. If you guys could not hear, let me know. I will reshare it so you guys can see. Um, if you guys could hear, press one. If you guys could not hear, press two. But basically, I'm gonna translate for all the people that do not speak Spanish, but also wants to get the information. Basically, what he was saying. Yeah, Inquisitor, turtles are more important than gringos for sure. So number one, so you guys could hear it because I see some number ones and number two. Number one, you could hear. Number two, you couldn't. Anyway, I'm gonna translate for you guys. Basically, what Eliezer was saying is that they were being they called the cops, the construction company called the police, the local police in Aguadilla, to come to Rincon to place them under arrest. They allow Eliezer to turn himself in at a later time, but they arrested everybody for civil disobedience. So yeah, I'm hearing that you guys didn't heard any sound. Let me try one more time. Like I said, you guys bear with me. This is literally just happening in real time, and it's a little crazy. So I'm going to try one more time, see if I can share it. If not, it's going to be what is going to be. Press one if you can hear, press two if you cannot. Okay, let me know. Well, basically, apparently, I'm having some technical difficulties with the audio. Some people can hear, some people can. Anyway, hi, Jose. Thank you for joining. And also, Good Body. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, this is breaking news right now in Puerto Rico. And like I said before, Eliezer has been placed under arrest in Rincon, Puerto Rico for civil disobedience. Right now, we are not clear on the charges that they're going to press against him and the other protestants that were on the site. Now, basically, what he's asking from us is to share the video so that it can get to the actual people that can help them, like lawyers or other activists. And also, if you can, and if you're listening to me and you're on the ground in Puerto Rico, make sure you go to Playa Los Almendros en Rincon and express yourself and block this at any cost. I wish I was there. Unfortunately, you guys know I'm 3,000 miles away. Um, yeah, I know, Brote, but this one is like a video clip that was sent to me, so it's not on the internet. It's more on QuickBooks. But thank you anyway. So, like I said, you guys, if you can, I'm gonna share this on my Instagram at a later time today. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. If you do not follow me on Instagram to get this video and share it on any social media platform, make sure you email me. I can email you the video if I can. I'm not sure if I can, it's too heavy, so it will take some time, but definitely if you can follow me on Instagram, I will be sharing it over there and you can download it or screenshot it. I mean, screen record it and share it to your social media platform. We need to make this situation known between the incident that happened with Jake and Logan Paul last week, driving a full blown vehicle through our beach in Dorado, Puerto Rico, on nesting season for the turtles. And this situation, these people are exploiting our natural resources coming into our land and wreaking havoc. So I would say, yeah, Maceo. Also, if you want to listen to what Eliezer Molina is talking about, or you want to listen to this video and the audio, you can go to his Facebook, or also you can go to Eliezer Molina PR, Eliezer Molina PR on Instagram, and you can see all the development for this story. And also, I will be, if there's any new developments later today or early tomorrow. Make sure and trust I will be here sharing with you guys. If by the time I have a show tomorrow there is a new development, then I will share it on my show tomorrow. If there is something that happens in between, I will be here sharing all the information. So stay tuned. And like I said, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification, and please share this video as much as you can. We need to make this known. We need to fight for our coastlines and also to preserve our natural resources, including the animals that actually live in these areas. We don't need any more infinity pools. We don't need to turn Puerto Rico into a cement land. There's a reason for, the quality of life we have, and the quality of air, and the quality of our resources in our water, is because we are very adamant about contamination and pollutants. And now it's being compromised by these corporations and also backdoor deals. And that's why they're going after Eliezer Molina. So, like I said, stay tuned for any future developments on this story. I'm about to end this. However, if you guys have anything to comment, I will share the link to have you guys for a brief time. So if anybody wants to contribute something, let me know in the chat section, and I will let you come in, join me, and make your comment about the situation. Like I said, this is really painful to watch, especially when we're from afar, because there's only limited things we can do. But still, I will encourage anybody to still share this information with anybody that you know. Like I said, I'm going to share the link for anybody that wants to make a comment about this. It's a very sad situation that we're going through, between Luma Energy. That's another thing I'm going to be discussing tomorrow on my show. Um, it's going to be fire tomorrow. Trust me. Tomorrow's show you do not want to miss. So make sure you hit the bell for notification. But uh, crazy things are happening in Puerto Rico right now. It's not just the situation with Eliezer Molina, it's a lot of things. But our main focus right now is with Eliezer and the group of protestants that are blocking something that can potentially, become a trend and actually hinder our natural resources. And we can become just a USA 2.0. So, like I said before, if anybody, if nobody wants to jump in, I will just finish this. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions regarding this topic, feel free to DM me on Instagram or send me an email or leave a comment down in the description below. um and like I said, share this video. Make sure it gets to everybody and to as many people as you can. It doesn't matter where they're from. I see that Bro Tep joined the stream. Hey Bro Tep, how's everything going? I think you're muted, Bro Tep. Okay, now I can
Yeah,
hear.
yeah. What's going on? Hold on. Let me turn off this stuff here. Give me a minute. Yeah. So I was trying to catch the playback, but it looked like you were going to shut things down if there wasn't any activity on the panels. So I hurried up and jumped in here.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I was
okay.
doing a quick breaking news because of the development that happened with Eliezer Molina now being placed under arrest for protesting our coastline being taken away from the public domain.
Wow,
Yes. It's
wow.
been really, really hectic.
What went on with the concrete? You said that because the protest allowed the concrete to dry, they're jailing him for that.
They were jailing him and the other protesters because they were impeding them from continuing their labors, and they were saying that they were in public in private property, but in reality the coasts of Puerto Rico are public domain. And what they did is that they stopped the labor in order to preserve our natural resources. So because that went to waste and they were inside there, they put them under arrest for civil disobedience.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you see these corporations, man. Look how much pull they have.
yeah.
Because without the corporations pushing behind this, you know, the authorities would not have the right or even the reason to arrest this man. Especially, don't the authorities understand that it's their country too? Who's in charge over there? Like
Uh,
the
the thing is like like I said, I can't post a lot of this information here because it was posted on a copyrighted show on the radio. But Eliezer
okay.
Molina provided proof that I'm gonna post on my Instagram today. That the cousin of the governor actually is behind this approval for this permit to do this to our beach.
Wow, that's what it is.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
without fail, it's always these guys who they trade in their personal stuff for the public or their people's welfare, you know, for their gain, their personal gain.
Yeah,
Holy
definitely.
mother.
Definitely. And like I said, we had Jake Paul and Logan Paul like a week ago driving a full blown vehicle through the nests of these turtles. And now we have this situation. It's like it never ends. And the worst part is that the director of the Department of Natural Resources in Puerto Rico, initially, when he was confronted in radio, by Eliezer Molina. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna halt the labor." Now, today, what he's saying is that he's not supposed to hold the labor because it's the OGP, the one that's responsible for issuing that, and for issuing the permit, and they should be the ones stopping the labor. So they're playing the hot potato,
Wow.
so that they can continue building this, and by the time they stop it and halt it, our
It's
beach
already done.
already is going to be polluted, everything because they want to build an infinity pool there.
What's an infinity pool?
An infinity pool basically is a live edge pool that has like a, instead of having a border, it overpurs, and the border on the outline, the out part of the pool is lower, so you don't see it. So when you're at the border of the pool,
Yeah.
you just see the
Yeah.
horizon
The
with the
horizon.
blue. Yeah, you don't see the border
That's
of
you.
the
That's
pool.
usually stuff you do for your private house. You don't do this on some people's country.
Exactly, exactly. And
That,
right
that-
now,
yeah.
it's like I said, it's super cringe what's happening, and it's I have no words but being super upset.
Well, the thing is, not only is it tragic, but it's also insulting. It's infuriatingly insulting.
Yeah,
It's
definitely,
insulting.
definitely. I'm gonna show you what an infinity pool is.
Mhm.
Look, this is basically what they want to create. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah. Once you
Like, you see?
described it, yeah. Once you described it, I understood. But the thing is that that's something you do on your own personal property. Let's say you buy some acres of land in, like, I don't know, in California or something like that,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Georgia, and then you do that for yourself. You don't do that. You don't do that in someone else's country.
Yeah.
But who's the who owns, on whose behalf are they doing all this development?
Pedro Pierluisi's cousin, our governor's cousin.
Yeah. All right.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Hi,
evening,
Jose.
Jose.
How are you?
Missed you, man. How you been?
Okay, I'm just hearing this information. Let me see if I get the facts correctly. This individual was arrested for civil disobedience for stopping work on an infinity, whatever it is, on public land, even though they try to claim it's private land. Am I correct?
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
It kind of reminds me. Um, I don't know if you're aware of the French Revolution, where Marie Antoinette said to the peasants that were starving, "Let them eat cake." I mean, this is about the same
Yep.
level of lunacy. Now, I would like to know, if if the detractors are going to actually, say anything, or they're going to continue with their mantra, as far as losing sight of what's going on.
I'm pretty sure they're not even aware that this is happening. I can
Well,
almost
yeah,
guarantee you that.
but even if they, if they are aware, they would not raise an issue about it, but yet they will raise an issue regarding some people wanting to identify with Spain, some people having a relationship outside of their ethnic groups and whatnot. I mean, it's kind of like the movie Titanic,
Yeah.
okay? And the iceberg is all the problems that we're facing in Latin America. This is one aspect. And in the movie, some of the people go into the first class section of the liner. Now, mind you, the boat is sinking, and then you have people playing violin music on deck while the boat is sinking. And someone said, "Oh, great, music to drown by."
Yeah. It's you could not say it any better. It's like I said, it's super cringe. I do not think they're aware of this. I do not think that the ones that call themselves Puerto Ricans actually even care about what's happening to our natural resources, to what's happening to our activists. They're
Mhm.
not aware of this because they already made up their minds, in my opinion, and want to be gringos. So there's nothing wrong with that, but like you can't not have it both ways. You cannot be the defender of culture and land, and at the same time, when called to defend the culture and the land, disappear.
But you know what?
So
But I don't mean to cut in.
no, go ahead.
But it's crazy when you think about it. The racists don't consider ourselves white, but yet you have certain aspects of our community that will swear up and down they're 100% white, they're 100% Anglo, and they're far from it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And it's like I said, it's super cringe, Jose, to see that these people actually care more about what's happening with social relationships rather than, what's happening to our people and to our country. And I know I post a lot of stuff about Puerto Rico, but I mean, I can't help it. I love my island. So I see that Ramon is here. Ramon, give me 1 second. I will add you real quick. How are you, Ramon?
Hey, how you doing? I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. I just caught your live kind of late again, otra vez. But but I do remember seeing something about this story that you're talking about,
Mhm.
and it wasn't just about kind of like the mishandling of when it comes to the rights of the people locally as to what the government can do without regard for the wishes of the people of the island. No, it's not just that. It's also a situation when it comes to the from an architectural standpoint, when it comes to the engineering of the project that they're doing, and because it's also a problem architecturally, because they're digging a hole on the sand to pour rebars and to pour concrete to build this pool that you were talking about. But the thing is that there were kind of like architects that people that knew about this stuff that were putting up videos on Instagram about it, and they were talking about they were showing kind of like the rebars sticking out of the sand, and they were digging, and they were digging equipment, as you can see in the picture that you're showing. and they were talking about that this wasn't going to last because of the higher ocean, and they were building and they were building on top of sand, that eventually, because of the erosion and because of the movement with the sand and the ocean and other factors involved with the weather, and you know how the weather is in the island, that is very
Yeah, they're given
unpredictable, and a lot of storms and
they're
things
only
like that.
given they're only given this construction, even with the steel bars and everything, 10 years before it can be
Yeah,
destroyed, because it's
right,
not sustainable. And I don't know if you can notice, but they lied to Eliezer when they said they were not going to do any construction on the beach, and that's why they
right.
inserted the cement truck through the
Uh-huh.
building. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm posting it on the screen right now, and you can
Yeah.
see the police trying to, intervene with the protestants. And this is a clusterfuck, in my opinion. And like I said, it first, during this week, Eliezer Molina had a assassination attempt in the last weekend. Now, the week before, it was him denouncing that this was about to happen, and they told him he was a liar. Now, towards the end of this week, look at what's happening. Look at, that's the place where we had hundreds of turtles nesting.
Yeah.
My question is, what happened, to the nests? What happened to those turtles? And I'm gonna keep on looping the video so you guys can see what's going on. That used to be just beach sand, clear beach sand. If you're familiar with the beaches in Puerto Rico, our sand is really clear, nice, and look at how it is right now because of all of the construction and the pollutants that they have put in there.
Well, they're supposed to preserve the nests. I mean, anybody
Yes.
who interferes with that is supposed to get arrested. They're supposed to be charged with interfering with something that is part of the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the reverse, right? The reverse is supposed to be happening here.
Yes, but the key word is supposed to be.
Wow.
That's the key word, supposed to be.
And not only that, let's not forget that, this is the hand of the cousin of the governor, Pedro Pierluisi. His cousin is the one that's actually behind all this project and the approval of this construction that's illegal, stealing land from the people. It's the same thing. I don't know if you guys are aware of what I said about the agriculture. We have 600 over 600,000 acres that belong to the people of Puerto Rico and are supposed to be developed for our own food. Yet the government is claiming possession on it and is not granting the youth that wants to actually develop those acres of land with food and other things we can eat. And it's just growing, crazy without us having access to it. Now, when corporations like Monsanto come over, they even offer to pay for the water they produce, billing Puerto Ricans for the water that they use for their vegetables. So it's like I said, it's a very crazy thing, and there's so many things happening at once that I think, Eliezer Molina is overwhelmed with events like this. It's not just the beach, it's many things happening. The same thing is happening to the beach in Isabela, Puerto Rico, that they're developing casitas right in the beach, right in the coastline. It's the same thing, and that project is a go. And people did not do anything in Isabela, to the point where the mayor of Isabela ran for governorship in 2020, and nobody said anything about that. Nobody called him out or anything. And I'm like, what's going to happen to, like Morena says, the wildlife protection for the coast of Isabela is gone, just like this one is going to hell.
When it comes to Monsanto on the island, they go by a different name that I can't recall now. But in the Juncos area, I understand that there were kind of like growing things, chemically GMO, chemically
Yeah.
alter certain seeds seeds that were growing over there, but that involves spraying chemicals up in the air that is affecting the population in of the town, that is making them sick. It's
Yes.
affecting their lungs, and they're trying to look for answers, but the Monsanto that goes by a different name
I
now,
think they go
they
by
keep
Bayer.
giving them the runaround.
I think they go
And
by Bayer now, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, okay, yeah, I think it was Bayer. I think that it was Bayer that bought them all,
Yeah.
and they go by that name. But they don't use Monsanto so much anymore because Monsanto it has this negative connotation because in other parts of the world they recognize and they know how demonic they are. So the Bayer bought them up, and they go by Bayer now. But they're still kind of like exporting uh, seeds that were cultivated in Puerto Rico, but they are altered and they are having to spray around town, and they're spraying at people, at the people of the population that is affecting them. It's making them sick. It's affecting their lungs, and but there is also that is in the Juncos area, I understand.
Hmm.
uh, but when it comes to this pool that they're building, they were saying, okay, this is gonna break up, and all of this construction is gonna end up in the water, in the ocean water at the beach. So that, and I didn't know the part about the carets, because those are carey
Hmm.
turtles
Yeah.
that are nesting over there. That's supposed to be protected by law. I
They are
mean,
because they're at the brink of extinction. It's like the manatees. It's the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
they're like a protected species,
Yeah.
and they're not supposed to be. It's not like back in the times of the Taínos. The Taínos will eat them all, but they were more abundant back then.
Yeah, there was a lot of carets by the time when the Taínos were in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, yeah, but
But
right now
now
they're not
there's not
supposed to mess
many.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many, but I mean, when you're the cousin of the governor, you can mess with whatever, you know. And that's what saddens me and it infuriates me, and mostly the inaction. I usually talk about business in my channel, but I needed to follow up with this development. I wanted to come earlier and like express my frustration and anger at this situation, but I wanted to get more information in it and see the development. And like I said, Eliezer Molina actually, you know, was he turned himself in and he was placed under arrest. Now, Brotev says major media networks will not bring you this sort of news. He said we need independent channels like this. Help, he said, help grow this platform. We're 100 subs. Help us get to 200. Share this channel link. Definitely, yes. Like I said, there's a lot of media in Puerto Rico that will never cover this because, of course, they get paid. We realized that in 2019 when peaceful protesters were deemed as criminals because people in hoodies were breaking stuff in Old San Juan when we were protesting to have Ricky Rosselló brought out and resigned from his position after letting over 4,000 of us die in Hurricane Maria. So we know already how the media works in Puerto Rico. They are for sale. So definitely, yes, we need independent or, they see us as bootleg media, but we need more independent news to actually bring the real facts. And like I said, I'm not here trying to tell you what to do or what to think, but you can make your own conclusions. I'm just posting out and, unfiltered information. You can make up your own mind and decide if this is right or wrong. If you're willing to live in a world where we are not the owners of anything and, the United States and their corporations and our governors are actually trading our livelihood and our health for more cement and money. Now I see that Smoothie said maybe there is a petition or something like that, Denise. I will follow up on that. And like I said, tomorrow I will bring all the information that I can gather through all of my contacts and other things. And I will let you guys know what we can do from here. Now, Brotep, I think you were going to say something. Is Brotep here?
Yes.
Okay. You were
Give
going
me a
to say
second here.
something?
Give me a
Okay.
second here. The first of all, Smoothie O petitions, they're nice and everything, but nothing works like disruption. These protesters did the right thing. What needs to happen is someone needs to find out where this guy's being held, and a GoFundMe needs to be opened to pay his bail. Nothing moves without money. So the petition, that's nice, that's great, but nothing moves without money. Find out where this guy's being held. He's been arrested. Find out where he's being held. Someone open a GoFundMe and be honest. Don't take the money and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Open a GoFundMe, and we all drop something in it, even if it's $1, whatever. You'd be surprised at the volume that can be raised by just $1. Right? 1,000 of you put $5 in. Guess what you got? A lot of money. You know what I mean? And you get him out there. And for him, knowing the character of what's been described to me, he'll be right back out there disrupting what they're doing. And if they lose enough money, every time they try to put this concrete down, right, they get disrupted. Every time they try to go forward with this travesty, killing off those turtles, they're about to be an endangered species if this keeps going.
They are already.
They already.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the more you disrupt them, that's why a lot of the protests before Black Lives Matters became so corporatized in the United States, mainland anyway. The the effectiveness of it was indisputable, indisputable. You do something to the people here, to black and brown people, your highways get shut down, right? We congest your highways. No one can go to work. No companies can continue their work. All right. And, whoever's in charge, the mayors, the police captains, police chiefs, they're all fired. All right. So then now that's a deterrent. Next time you have a police officer in some precinct getting trained by their captain, the captain's like, you know what? I like this job. I don't want to teach these guys something to make them go out there and kill someone, and then Black Lives Matters shuts down these roads, and I'm fired, and I can't pay my mortgage. This is how you get change done. All right. So disruption, that's the key. Disrupt, disrupt, disrupt. These guys have the right idea. The only thing is they need your support. Find out where he is, pay his bail, have him right back out there.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, I would say also call your family members and
Hmm.
tell them to, what they need to go to Rincon and actually show themselves in there. Support them in any way you can so that they can be there and assist them. The name of the turtle is the carey.
And I have another question here. How many people were there? Can you go back? Are you able to go back a couple of
Sure.
slides so you can see the number of protesters?
Yeah.
Why is it only like 5, 6 people here?
There's
Are there
probably
more?
there were close to 10. There was not a lot. And it's something that I do not understand. Like I said, like why not the whole Rincon was in there? I'm gonna
Yo, where's Greenpeace? Oh, see, I got a second. Where's Greenpeace?
yeah, I don't know. And it's like I said, it's super cringe that we see people claiming a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, when it's time to actually get their hands dirty, they
Yeah,
don't do anything.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I do have smoke for the guys who are policing your body. Fellas, fellas. All that smoke you got for us here online. They could have used that smoke over there. You get that, right?
Yeah.
You get that, right?
Um, excuse me, Denise.
Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
Would it be possible if we have a picture of this turtle in question so we can have more of an understanding, regarding this issue? If you don't have it, it's okay. But if we would have a visual of the turtle in question, it might help people to understand why.
Yeah. Put a face to it. Yeah. Put a face to
Yeah,
the name.
I mean this is a suggestion on my part.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I can share it with you. There's no problem.
You could continue the show. What's the name? I'll look for it. How do you spell it?
It's the carey turtle. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen.
Oh, you
But
oh, you got it. All right, good. I was
yeah,
gonna look
yeah, I
for it
got
for you
it.
if you need it.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
That's the turtle that they're killing.
Yeah.
And these
Beautiful,
people, and
beautiful.
it's already an endangered species, and they're building an infinity pool.
Yeah, because her life, their lives are not important to these people.
Yeah.
The Careys can die, in their opinion. So, this is a species that has been around for thousands of years. Even when, this is something that we inherit from our Tainos. They actually survive. And it's one more connection that we're losing from our heritage. If you guys do not know, we also have the sabanera pigeon that's also from colonial times or pre-colonial times, and the Puerto Rican parrot also, it's endangered, and the golden coqui. And
Mm.
these are things that, the more they build stuff, the more they kill these animals, the more, you know this species that somehow it's always the native species of Puerto Rico that suffer. It's never other things, it's always our native stuff. And people are not catching up on this, and that saddens me a lot.
But what saddens me is that only a small group of people actually give a darn to get into this protest. I mean, this is something that should have attracted the entire village.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that tomorrow you will see more people over there. I can almost guarantee you that. Now, Morena
Mhm.
says if the turtles are an endangered species, then they should fall under the Wildlife Protection for Endangered Species. Shaking my head. Yes, they are, Morena. They are. They have been since I'm 10 years old. The problem is that, like I said, when you are the cousin or a sole friend of politicians in Puerto Rico, somehow, endangered species don't matter. Natural resources, are nothing to these people when they want an infinity pool or they want to create luxury paths to sell to others. So yeah, definitely shaking my head. I'm with you on that one. And it's like I said, it's for the first time in so many years, we can put a face to Puerto Rican activism. And to see this man, literally in the last 2 weeks, he has had radio shows or a media tour denouncing this is happening. Before that, he had the situation with the agriculture propaganda that was calling us lazy, when in reality they're blocking agricultures in Puerto Rico, and farmers from not developing their own land. And they were bringing in an influx of Mexicans and Hondurans to actually work our lands because they want to pay us 5.50 an hour when the minimum wage is 7.25. And on top of that, now after his assassination attempt, we have this arrest. So it has been a very tough last 6 months for Eliezer Molina. And I would say, we have to support this man and protect his life at all cost. That's my take on that.
Mhm.
Also, if anyone's on the so this is how you start to use your your social media power. All this clout that you guys are chasing on Instagram and Twitter and all these sorts of drama. How about you use your Instagram to, let's say we leave Eliza Molina alone, right? What's that mayor or governor or whoever his name is? Why
Pedro
don't you
Pierluisi. Pedro
Ped,
Pierluisi.
Pedro, right?
Pedro. Pedro.
Pedro. All right.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, this guy's name and face should be all over Twitter. Whenever we have a Karen that blocks the way of a black man to his own apartment, we make that Karen famous. That's what I'm proud about with the black, independent, boots on the ground black media. We make you famous if you do anything to us. This should be happening with the brown people, right? Not just black people, with brown people. All you guys on, I, I'd like to say there's a Hispanic Twitter where you guys go on there, or Hispanic Instagram. Put this guy's face on there. Not yeah, this guy. There you go. Put his face on there. Make him even more famous than he is. And you connect him to what he's doing. Right now, he's not connected to the evil things he's doing. He has this clean persona that he tells you in major news medias. And then meanwhile, he's doing stuff like killing the carey turtle. So connect him, connect those two people. Connect those two people. Go on Instagram, put this guy's face up there. Start your memes. You're using all these memes to humiliate innocent people, right? Who date outside their race or who you have personal beefs with. Use it for good for once. All right. So get on Instagram, Twitter, your YouTube platforms, and make this happen.
Pro tap. The
Yes.
reason why they don't do that because it makes too much sense.
Oh my God, Jose.
Okay, 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 you know what? Okay, please forgive me, but the
Mhm.
reason why I say this because many times they'll ask me a question: Why don't they do something logical? Why don't they do
Mhm.
something reasonable? Why don't they do something that will help people? That's my response. It
Yes.
makes too much sense.
Hmm. I mean, seriously, guys, like, do it. You take time. You know what? I'll stop. I'll stop posting rage bait. All of you guys who come on here, right? I'm doing my part here. I'll stop posting rage bait for a good month if you do this. I won't stick my finger in my eye in your eyes anymore. I'll stop doing that. And on my part, because I have social media platforms too, I will post this. Okay, and we can get this guy, get him famous. Like, how come we have all the corner store Carolyn, barbecue Becky's? When they do these things here, they become household names, and these people can't find jobs anymore. When a sheriff in the United States, this is why Radical Latino keeps pushing for black and brown unity, because a
Yeah.
lot of you Latinos are not learning from the stuff that we're doing here. Anytime they do something, there you go. That's the name, Pedro Pierluisi.
Yeah.
Good. Make that name more famous than it is. Make it famous for what he's doing. Right now, he's famous for being the governor of blah 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 blah. Make him famous for killing the Kare turtle. That's what he should be famous for. Welcome to genocide. Welcome to species genocide, Pedro Pierluisi. All right? You're the comet that's killing the dinosaurs. That's what you are. And worse still, you're not a natural force of nature like the dinosaur, like what killed the dinosaurs, like the comet. You're doing this for a pool because you want to lay naked at the edge of the horizon. Make this guy famous. Have him become the next barbecue Becky. That's the only way. Look at how only 6 people showed up. That's because it's not in our consciousness. I didn't even know this. I was sitting over here making lives about comic books. If I knew that, this is where I'd be. I was making lives about comic book industry
And you know what's
because this.
crazy?
I'm sorry, God.
No, no, go ahead. I'll say it after you finish.
Yeah, this did not come into my sphere of notice, into my cognition until Denise showed up, and I'm like, oh, she's going live, and then I see what's going on with the protesting. There should be crowds of people out there because a species is dying. Two things are important here. One, a species is dying. That's the most important thing to me. That this species, a life matters, right? So a species will no longer exist if they keep doing this. The second thing is the disrespect. The disrespect. You guys keep talking about your identity, my Hispanidad, my Hispanicity. This is your identity being challenged here. They don't respect your sovereignty as Hispanics. You want to use the term Hispanics, right? They don't respect your sovereignty. You should be up in arms about this because they're turning you into a parking lot. They're turning your land into a parking lot. This time into a what's that pool
An
called, Denise?
infinity pool.
An infinity pool. They're turning it.
And then after Denise say her piece, I have to say
y-
my piece as
Yeah, yeah,
well.
I'm done.
I'm gonna
Denise,
let
you can take it from me
Denise say
because I need to do like some sort of USA.
Meditation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm laughing to not cry.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's super cringe. It's super painful to see this man in the first 6 months of his governorship has lied about his, and I'm gonna speak about it tomorrow a little bit more. You know what? I'm gonna go live Saturday and I'm
Okay.
gonna make a piece about Pedro Pierluisi. If you want to join me, bro, Tap,
Absolutely.
we will talk behind the scenes on
Mm-hmm.
what's the best time. But I'm gonna do a special on Pedro Pierluisi because I have a lot of information on what he has done. So if you guys want to know who the governor of Puerto Rico is, tune in this Saturday. Tune
Good.
in. Make sure you're harassing my YouTube channel because I will be here. I will be here
Um,
and I will bring you everything. If I have to do a YouTube ton, a YouTube marathon between me, Bro Tap, and other people that want to contribute, like Maceo, Ramon, we should, as Puerto Ricans in the diaspora and Latinos in the diaspora, we should start talking about these things and bringing them to their attention. If we had to be 10 hours here talking, I mean, I know a lot of you guys have things to do, but if I had to be 10 hours here explaining to you guys in detail who this man is, I will do so. So be ready
Okay.
Saturday. Bring all your notes, all the
Yeah.
things and the suggestions that you have to actually see the man that's ruling Puerto Rico right now. And you guys want to know who he is? Tune in Saturday. I will show you who this man really is. There is a reason why Pedro Pierluisi has been the first governor that has been selected only by a very small portion of the island. 68% of the Puerto Rican population did not voted for Pedro Pierluisi. Only 32% of Puerto Ricans voted for him, which is why he's
Huh.
getting pushed back left and right. The reason why he won is because we have so many different parties and nobody gathered 30 more than 32%. So, like I said, if you want to know the man behind all of these disasters that are happening in a short period of time, tune in Saturday and I will let you know who Pedro Pierluisi is.
uh, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Uh, Please forgive me. I'm gonna get it because basically I'm in rant mode. Um,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Rant. Do your rant.
because let me tell you something, Denise. You are a voice crying out in the wilderness. Okay. Not many people are doing what you are doing right now. Okay. And you don't have to do this, but you're doing this because you love our community. Okay. So
Yep.
when you bring up important issues, particularly regarding this issue, and you would think that these people that claiming that is su hispanidad, que yo soy eso, yo soy de aquel, I am this, I am that. But they're not getting upset what happening in Puerto Rico. They're not getting upset what happening in Venezuela. They're not getting upset what's happening in Colombia. They're not getting upset because what's happening in the Dominican Republic. They're not happening what's happening to us here in the United States. But they get their panties in a bunch because Denise Gonzalez is in love with an African American male.
Yep. That's what
Okay?
matters. That's what's important.
And I have more, and I have more ammo. And we're gonna argue about white Latinos are the only Latinos, and melanated Latinos don't count, and how
Wow.
death to America is the solution to all our problems, which is not. And all this pissy fighting amongst ourselves. But we should gather together and try to build our community. And forgive me for getting on I'm
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm enjoying it.
Literally, all bets are off when we have to express ourselves, Jose. And it's like I said, I appreciate you guys' support. And like I said, I've never even started joining streams with the planning on or the plan of actually doing a YouTube channel. I was basically talked into by many people that started even subscribing to me when I was just another panelist without a channel. And it
Mm.
was because of the way I will speak about things that I will always look after, like what's happening in Latin countries and our history. And it's nice to see that there's people that actually listen to what I'm bringing and are giving me the opportunity to come into your homes and actually keep you informed. Because what I'm trying to do, and it's something I was discussing before with other people on other social media platforms, I'm trying to bridge the gap between our diasporas and our people so that we can stay in touch. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed that our countries do not like to put out there the news of what's happening so that our diasporas can do something. It's basically as if we're almost two different communities at this point. If you compare Puerto Ricans and the islands and New Yorican, we love each other. However, we're so distant by not knowing about each other, not knowing what affects one another, and not being able to actually help each other. And I'm 100% sure that a lot of New Yorkers, if they were to know about what we're going through, they will be more active in our community. And if we were to know what they're going through, we will be more active in demanding them to have the rights that they deserve here in America. So my channel is to bridge that and start tying two pieces together on different diasporas.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of heat from people because there's also people that believe that, they're superior than the people that they have in their own country.
and it's amazing because we all speak the same language, more or less. We all have more or less the same customs, more or less. Okay, unfortunately, we're all part of a fractured, dysfunctional family because certain people can't get past their petty, piss poor differences that we're arguing over the color of one's skin, that we're arguing over petty, pissy politics that don't mean anything. Meanwhile, we have real situations going on, and everybody is muted.
One issue that is having that has to do with the island and Pierluisi is that he's basically a continuation of the previous administration. And when Rosselló, Enrique, who should be in jail, if you do your research, you will realize that he should be in jail because back in the 90s he ran over people with a Ford truck, with a four-wheeler. And got them killed. But Pierluisi, because he is from the same party as Rosselló, but he's basically a continuation. So what it kind of was very disappointing was after the election, there was all this protest to get Rosselló out, but then when the elections come around, then Pierluisi gets in, who is from the same party. And Jennifer Gonzalez, who basically sounds like a broken record. Every situation, every problem that is happening in the island, she keeps bringing up statehood and calling for statehood, and then she wants statehood. Like statehood is gonna solve everything. There is an issue of corruption. She calls for statehood. There is a natural disaster. She calls for statehood. I mean, she sounds like a broken record. Somebody slips on a banana peel and falls on their ass, and she starts calling for state.
Oh my God!
That's gonna solve the problem. Everything with her is statehood. It's very tiresome, and unfortunately, even though us Islanders, so many of us are quite educated people, but we are too tied down to political ideologies that are outdated. I mean, the whole statehood thing, the PNP party, which is the one that has been that are the wannabe Republicans that have been wanting statehood for the islands for over 50 years, and there is a reason why it hasn't happened yet. But apparently they are getting money that way by peddling the whole statehood ideal that it's not going to go anywhere, because even if the islanders were to want it, Congress is always going to say no, and they have been saying no for decades.
But look at what happened right now, Ramon. To piggyback from what you're saying, The statehood propaganda is just a tool by the new progressive party in Puerto Rico that basically is just telling people, hey, if you vote for me, I will fight for statehood and that will bring you progress. And because a lot of our people in the past used to not be educated in the matter, they used to vote and associate progress with the new progressive party. And to be honest with you, if you look at what happened, I covered some news a few streams ago regarding the lobbyists pro statehood that were voted for. We invested $2 million in that special election, and now the oversight board said we're not going to pay a dime to this lobbyist. And on top of that, Congress announced yesterday that they will not allow this lobbyist to be inside the Congress floor as lobbyists because they did not approve of this process. So basically, we wasted $2 million when these lobbyists are going to be treated like regular public. So they will not have access to special places where congressmen and congresswomen actually are. So why we invested $2 million on this flip flop that actually is not serving any purpose for our people? That's what I'm saying with, there's no problem with you being pro statehood. Be pro statehood. That's an ideal. Now, don't look at something that looks like poop, smells like poop, tastes like poop, and call it chocolate. And
It's kind of
what
like with
people are
the
doing.
yeah, it's kind of like with the resident commissioner. The resident commissioner is kind of like a glorified spectator. That's a glorified cheerleader. I mean, they can
Yeah.
cheer for whatever it is that they want in Puerto Rico, but they can go up to Washington. But that's a glorified spectator that is getting paid just to watch because
Yeah.
they don't have a vote. They don't have a say in
As a matter of
anything that has
fact,
to do.
as a matter of fact,
I don't see the
if
point.
yeah, as a matter of fact, Pedro Pierluisi was a resident commissioner, our congressman, not too long ago. And one of the things that, I want people to understand, our congressman is the same as the one from Guam. If any congressman or congresswoman wants them to shut up, they have to shut up, and they can only talk if granted permission by another congressman or congresswoman. So we basically just have somebody over there for optics. We really
Yeah.
have no voting power and not a single say on what goes on our island, which is why Pedro Rosselló in the past had to go himself up to Congress to actually demand that the Marines retreat from our beach in Vieques. And till this day, there are live mines in our beach in Vieques. And now we see what's happening with our beach in Rincon and what happened in Isabela. It's like we're running out of a coastline that's healthy for our people.
Yeah, and the whole thing with Vieques is they ended up closing off the whole area where they were doing the exercises, the military exercises, because it's all contaminated. It's all contaminated with with toxic remains from the all artillery, all of the artillery that they were firing over there, and there is like there is this high toxicity in the air that is causing people that live in the island to go ill, getting
Get
cancer.
cancer.
I knew
Yeah.
somebody. I knew this young man back when I was still living back home, who was from Vieques, and he showed me the scars on his torso because of all the surgeries that he had to get done, plus chemotherapy to get all of the cancer removed from him, and that's because of all the dangerous toxic mercury and all of these other things that were part of the life of the exercises with the weapons that they were firing at the base. But that area, it might look good from the air, from a distance, but that area has been closed off and it's not accessible. Okay, yeah, that military left, but now nothing can be done with it because and it's still affecting people. It's making people sick. And so that's kind of like part of that legacy of colonialism that we're not going to be able to get rid of. And Pedro Rosselló shouldn't have had to go to Congress himself and talk about the protest, because they were kind of like suggesting to bomb the place and bomb all of the protesters, and it came close to that. It came
Yes, it
close to
did.
that
Yes, it did.
because of the whole disobedience thing, because they were in kind of like invading a military area, and they could have used deadly force on them. Yeah,
Yeah,
it got
and
tense.
let me
It
tell
was
you
tense for
something.
a.
It
Uh-huh.
took 1 million Puerto Ricans to actually take the streets of Puerto Rico and paralyze Puerto Rico in order for us to have the Marines out of our beach in Vieques.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's crazy that you say that, because to be honest with you, if people in case people do not know what happened in Vieques, the bombs that you guys saw on being thrown in Palestine
Yeah.
were tested in Vieques. That's what we're talking about. In case
Yeah.
you
Yep,
guys
I
don't
remember
know,
that.
yeah, in
Yeah,
case you guys don't
Really?
know,
yeah.
yes, the same. That's what our people were exposed in there, simply because the United States wanted to have a testing site that wasn't contaminating other people. I want to show you guys how many people in Puerto Rico. That's a full highway, and there was 1 million Puerto Ricans that actually took to the streets to actually demand from Pedro Rosselló and from Congress to remove the Marines from Vieques in 1999, I believe, or 1998, something like that.
Yeah.
I was a kid back then, but to be honest with you, there's a lot of people that got cancer, a lot of people that have died, a lot of people that suffer the consequences. And what's really even more upsetting is that the mayor of Vieques was granted $90 million to clean up the place, and till this day Vieques has no hospital, knowing that they have a high population with cancer. Vieques has poor transportation, knowing that they need to come to the mainland in the island to actually get treatment and chemo all the time, and it's still dirty. But where is the $90 million? That's my question.
Well, it got diverted in transit. Apparently, it didn't go to where it needed to go, or somebody pocketed on the way. It's a long distance that those funds had to travel to. So
Oh,
there is always somebody, the corrupted hand that.
Well, and
That
an
is
unrelated story. In an unrelated story, $90 million did show up in the offshore accounts for the for the guy who was supposed to fix the beach. All right, so that's unrelated though. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
maybe it went for more infinity pools.
The
Oh my
more
god.
infinity pools.
I'm telling you, this is super cringe. Like what's happening right now in Puerto Rico, it's super cringe. But like I said before, you guys will not see my detractors and my naysayers talking about this. All you will hear is the same thing.
This
You know,
kills me.
that's all
oh,
you hear of it.
oh, oh.
Uh, oh my god.
Okay.
That's all you
Yeah.
hear from that. That's all you hear.
Uh,
And it's oh my god, it's cringeworthy.
Um, since we're playing music, let me just play this. Say we're walking the other way. See that toxic person, and we're walking the other way. Toxic person, walk the other way. Toxic person, walk the other way. Toxic person, walk the other way. Walk the other way. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Uh,
For those who are Puerto Rican, every time I ask Slow Tep a question regarding, and I'm about to wrap this up, right? But every time I ask a Slow Tep regarding the issues of Puerto Rico, and they reply with the most stupid stuff, I'm like,
okay.
that's like I
Okay.
always
yeah,
say.
clowns, man.
can you
They
give me
are
an
clowns.
example? Can you give me an example of what you mean with so they give you a
Yeah,
stupid answer?
actually, no, yeah, yeah. This actually became one of my Foley's, my sound effects, because it's something from my first stream. Even, I'll play it
Oh,
for you. I'll play it for you. Give me one
No,
second.
but an example is. Oh, hold on.
Hold on, hold on.
No problem.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
careful
play.
with, with copyrighted. Be careful
No,
with
no.
copyrighted stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna play it for you. Look at the response that I gave when I asked direct questions, Ramon.
And I really like honestly, I have like no idea what you just said because I'm not really educated on this subject.
yeah. No, of
Not even
course, of course.
joking. If
Do
you
you
go
remember? You
if you
remember
go
what was
to
your
the
question?
stream,
You
if
remember what was your question?
yes, I asked him directly what was the alternate solution if the solution that I was presenting to help Latin America and our countries was not the right one, then what was his solution, his alternate solution? And that was his
Oh,
response. You can
oh,
go
oh.
to my first stream. That was in my first
Oh,
stream.
okay,
And it
okay, okay.
became one of my
I got you.
pollies. And my response was like,
I love that song. Me encanta.
it was like, come on, man.
Hacho
So
puñet. Me encanta la canción.
So yeah, me too. So for those, yeah, it's like I said, this whole situation with you know, this the slow taps is because they actually, are not educated on it. And like I said to people, they're the circus. Let them be the circus, and
Who's the gentleman who asked for the example? I
oh,
don't see any.
Ramon.
Ramon.
That was me.
Yeah, Ramon. Denise gets blue in the face,
Uh-huh.
basically educating these people. She gets blue in the face, educating them. Like, hey, listen, what we need to do is get together, put all our differences aside, all the petty, petty bickering and infighting. What we need to do is basically get these things started, learn from corporate America, for example, so that we can bring business structures back to our homelands, and let's get our natural resources back into our own hands. She's offering tangible, solid solutions. And what these guys do is they go, well, I don't see how you could be pro Hispanic when you're with a black man. That's their response.
No,
Yeah,
well,
clownish, clown
well,
response.
that's an issue. That's a whole issue entirely.
And then the guy you heard, and
That's
then the guy you heard, Ramon, the guy you heard.
Rotan,
Yes, yes, sir.
because it makes too much sense.
Yep. No, that's true. Because she's sitting here, and for me, right, being a Caribbean person who has a stake in this, because my Caribbean island is amidst the Latin American countries. It's Haiti, so it's right there between Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and
yeah, yeah.
all these places. So that will benefit my nation as well. I'm taking notes. So Denise, that's her specialty. So she's speaking on this, and I got my little notepad, like, all right, maybe what I should do, da 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 da, da. and then. And then what I'm getting back from Chi, the guy that she played back, who said, "Well, I'm not really educated on the topic." In that clip, what she didn't play back on that clip is that he went into, I don't see how you think you're making a difference with your little channel and the 30 subscribers. Nobody gives a shit about your channel anyway, to be honest. These are their replies, and they're supposedly pro-Hispanic. She's not pro-Hispanic, by the way. The person who's offering all these solutions, the person who brought them tonight, breaking news about stuff they're probably somewhere jerking off in a closet. But we are aware of the situation now because of Denise, but she's not pro-Hispanic. They're pro-Hispanic.
If I can chime in, um, it goes back to what I keep saying, and I know it sounds like a broken record, but some people fear strong women. And I
Yeah.
remember what I said last week, and it still applies. It is better to light a candle than to curse the
Mhm.
darkness.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
look at what Only JS says. I'm considering stocks because of Denise's lives. Definitely
Yeah.
go for it. Go for it. I'm proud of you. Go for it. And even if you fail, keep going at it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
There's Robin Hood out there. Try with them. If you fail, go to a bank then and get assistance from them. But definitely get into it.
Yeah, consider also real estate. Land is wealth. Remember that.
Mm,
Yeah, for sure. Look at what's happening to our lands. For sure.
yes.
For
Yeah, they
sure.
know that
It's the
that
classic
land is
example,
wealth.
right?
That's why they're taking it from us,
Yeah.
and our leadership is being asleep at the wheel, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we're gonna be losing. We're gonna be losing it, and yeah, yeah, it's problematic. I mean, when it comes to the shorelines, our shorelines are very valuable to us. So we do have to preserve it for the future generations. I mean, yeah, there are miles of shoreline that are undisturbed, but if we let this slide, it's just gonna continue, and it's gonna become kind of like a Caribbean Disneyland from for
Yeah.
the gringos.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Uh,
The future for Puerto Rico without Puerto Ricans. Now,
yeah, it's gonna be like
those,
Hawaii. What happened with Hawaii? The
yeah.
the, the Hawaiians can't afford like anything close to the water in their own land.
Yeah. And not
Wow.
It's
only
messed
that,
up.
I don't know if you heard about Mike Zuckerberg now, uh, coming into possession of their lands because, in our islands, when our parents pass and they inherit us land, we don't necessarily do the same procedures because we're not a state. But because of some people just inherit the houses and stuff and they did
Mhm,
not do the proper procedures. Now in Hawaii, what that means is that you don't have any proof that that land is yours, and some time
mhm.
has passed since your parents passed away, of the rightful owners, I'm sorry, passed away. So what he's doing is that he's taking the land from them for the price of rotten fish and
Yeah.
taking away their homes because they legally have no claim to it and they cannot fight Mark Zuckerberg for it.
Yeah,
So
he can outspend them all with his lawyers and his billions. So yeah, yeah, it's a hostile takeover as far as I can see. From
yeah,
what you're
now
describing,
guys,
that's exactly what it looks like to me.
yeah, now
Uh,
guys,
yeah. By the
the
way, Denise,
yeah,
remember the news you had broke to us about Venezuela and how China kind of like screwed them over.
yeah.
Well, it's Haiti's the first affected by that
Hmm.
because news came from my end of the spectrum that Haiti, that's where we bought our oil from and things like that. We brought it
Definitely,
from.
we should talk about
Yeah.
that. I don't know if you want to do a live. Look at Smoothie asking if you're gonna go live. If you
Uh,
want to, I will join you for sure. And I
yeah,
have news to share over there about Venezuela, and we can discuss it.
absolutely.
Um,
I'm going live right now.
okay, then I'm gonna
No,
wrap this one up, guys. I want to thank Jose, Ramon, and you, Bro Tep. Thank you guys for sharing your
absolutely.
thoughts.
Thank
Jose,
you.
as usual, thank you for the good vibes. Ramon, thank you for always making me laugh. And for also, yeah, commenting on what's going on in our island. It's nice to see that, I'm not the only one saying what's obvious to all of us, and Jose, like I said, thank you very much for your humor and your rants. I'm a
Mhm.
fan of your rants. Keep them coming.
Okay, but reason why the humor, when you think about all the sadness is going on, we have to be able to laugh once in the blue moon, even in tragedy. But as long as there are people like you, Denise, that continue to spread the word, I mean, it's worth that, even if a few of us get the facts and act on them.
Yes, definitely. It's like I said, it's not a lot of people that actually are willing to do this. Some because of cowardice, some because they really don't know it, and some because they actually know what's up, but they don't have either the time or the energy to put into this, because not to be messed up, but this requires a lot of time and energy. So even though we all know what's going on, some of us actually don't have the time or the energy. So it's nice to see, that at least I can provide that for you guys. So, any final thoughts, Jose, and then Ramon, and I will wrap this up.
Okay, well, Again, thank you, Denise, for being extremely gracious for me to give my 2 cents regarding this issue. And when I see a lot of the Latinos spreading their misinformation regarding stuff that doesn't worth any, in a cup of coffee, it's very refreshing to see people like yourselves giving us good information for us to use. And I'm going to end it by saying the same thing again. Please be safe, everybody, because there are crazy people out there.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Jose. Peace. Now, Ramon, any final thoughts on today's topic?
Definitely. I want to start by saying that I appreciate you letting me on your panel. I know that you are more on the more intellectual end of the spectrum when it comes to live streams. That's more of your thing. So I know that you wouldn't let just anybody on your panel. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you're giving me a chance to also chip in with my thoughts. But yeah, this is something that I had already heard about what you were talking about, and we do need to keep an eye, our eyes and our ears, try to keep up to it. I'm actually, when I can, I'm gonna be calling the island and I'm gonna see if I can get some information straight from the island as to what's going on. It's like earlier today, and I had a chance to learn about like the ferries, the Vieques ferries. They were taking all the way to Tampa, and they were having problems with the transportation, Vieques, Culebra, when it comes to the Las Lanchas, the
Yeah.
ferries, and I came across imagery about them being in Tampa, right? And and then I was communicated with the island, and they were telling me that there were ferries, substitute ferries, temporary ones on loan, so the transportation will continue. I hope that's true. That's what I was told. I hope that's true. It's just that lately I have been hearing a lot about the situation with the transportation from Vieques, and I think Culebra too.
Yeah.
The ferries were not moving along on time, and people were being stuck. And uh, I don't know the details right now.
Yeah, they're looking to basically the move, Ramon, that I have noticed is a pattern
Mhm.
with our government is let things break down and not
Yeah,
put any, don't invest any money in keeping them up. So when they break down, we can sell them to a private company and actually make some money on a backdoor deal. Right now, they're looking to another APP, which is Alianza Público-Privada. I don't know if you have heard from that. It's the same
oh,
concept that took over the Puerto Rican Telefonica, the Puerto Rican telephone
right.
company. It's the same concept that took over the Luisa Ferré airport in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's also
Hmm.
the same concept of Luma Energy taking over the Autoridad de Energía Eléctrica, and it's the same concept now that's going to take over the transportation from Vieques, Culebra to the main island. That's what
Yeah.
they're trying to do. So, because they make money on these deals, they probably establish an LLC
Hmm.
through a friend or somebody else, and actually then go over and deposit extra money, extra millions from the people of Puerto Rico into that contract. And eventually, they'll get a percentage as a backdoor deal. It's the same thing that happened with the COVID-19 Australian
Hmm.
test kits. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Test
Um,
kits from Australia? No,
yeah.
I don't know about it.
There was an issue last year. Sorry to be extending. I'm about to wrap this up, but there was an issue that there was an LLC that was funded in the middle of the pandemic that was trying to sell to Puerto Rico test kits that were
Okay.
like extremely expensive. and the
Uh,
people of Puerto Rico were paying millions of dollars for this, when in reality the test kits were cheaper. So
yeah.
Oriental Bank noticed that there were some irregularities with this and
Hmm.
paralyzed the transaction, just to realize that this was like one of the biggest transfers of wealth that was
Hmm.
happening illegally, because the companies were not even proper companies. It was, I think, a construction company that decided to sell these test kits to make profits out of it.
Oh,
And it was a clusterfuck. Like I said, there's a lot to unpack that
yeah.
I cannot do it in like a limited time, but definitely, I will designate some of my time to actually start doing this, to explain to people these backdoor deals.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there were like Chinese kits, they're really cheap, and they were trying to pass it off as something more expensive
Yeah,
or
for sure, for sure.
European made or some shit like that. Uh, ay, ay, ay. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll admit I have never been to Culebra. I have been to Vieques, but I've never been to Culebra, and I would like to be able to go sometime when I'm visiting the island. But there has to be a ferry. There has to be a functioning
If you
ferry so
can't
I can
do a
do that.
ferry, go to the marina in Fajardo and rent a boat.
Oh,
And
okay.
you can actually take yourself or bring somebody that can can drive you there, because definitely the ferry situation, even during the protests of Ricky Rosselló, they grabbed the director of that department and basically blocked her in her office with a mob.
Oh,
And it's because the situation has been going for years. But anyway, Ramon, I'm gonna
yes.
wrap this up, and I want to thank you so much for being here. And for sure, yeah, I do consider you more on the intellectual side as well. I know you can both get funny, but at the same time, when it's serious topics, I know you can bring information and also like a very honest and intelligent opinion. So thank you very much. I will then wrap this up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, there's so much to unpack with this situation with Eliezer Molina. Like I said, if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram so that you can keep up with the news of what happens in the new developments with Eliezer Molina. My Instagram is denise.gonzalez.villegas1. So make sure you follow me there. And like I said before, I will be posting the contract of this company. Also, I do not want to leave before telling you guys to stay tuned during the summer for. Yes, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss Latin explaining on the road. We're gonna be on the ground talking to different Latinos, so that they can give us their input or their questions. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, you guys, like even like Jose said, stay safe. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Make sure you share this video to any social media platform. Let's create awareness. Let's make some noise. Let's make sure that people like Eliezer Molina are receiving the support that they need to actually protect our natural resources and the lives of carey turtles. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow on the Lie Latinos Have Belief Part 3. Thank you very much and have a good night.